Okay, let's see if this is working. Let's get this all set up. So what's the date? Pure. Look out. You see that well sorted. That's how it looks like. Okay, as soon as you sign in, can you pop your name in the chat box? And if you haven't already sent me, whoever it is that's watching, if you haven't already sent me what any of your working out for the pure paper or the applied paper. So Alex, you've done this already, I know. So if you're on, can you make sure that you've emailed me every single piece of working? Because once I'm marking your pure, I pretty much finished marking pure now. And there's a wide disparity between the ones that sent me working and the ones that didn't. So can you all make sure that you've sent me every single piece of working out you've got from the pure paper? And I'm not going to email out the solutions to this for about another 10 minutes. So you've got time to go away and find this stuff. I mean, stay logged in. But that's what I'm asking you to do. So the structure of today, 15 minutes, send all workings, and we'll just have a general chat about what's going down. And then the other hour and a quarter, I don't know if I'm going to go the rest of the time, it's going to go through the mock. I don't know if I'm going to go an hour and a quarter, to be honest with you, because that's a lot of time. Okay, so yeah, do you want me? Yes, I do want you to send the work. Right, so all of you guys good to see all of you. All of you guys, if you haven't already, can you send me every scrap of working you've got for your mock exams? All right. Yes, all of them if you've got them. I did ask you if you check your email from way back to retain them if I want them. Well, I want them. I've pretty much finished marking pure. But that was a hell of an experience in that it's super hard to understand whether you've just made a little bit of a mistake in your numbers or whether you didn't get anything. So method marks, obviously there was an issue there. So if you send me all your materials, I'll be able to give you a more accurate grade when I finally give you a grade. Now, talking about grades, I should say number really, because we haven't got grade boundaries yet. I'm not sure how far, someone like Dan probably has marked his already. I know I'm nearly finished pure, but like it might be a while till you get a letter grade. It's fine, Katerina, that's okay. I mean, try and send it as fast as you can now, because I want to send out the mark scheme. All right. And obviously, me sending out the mark scheme and you sending out your working are mutually incompatible things, right? Because obviously, you know, not saying that you would cheat, but, you know, it starts raising issues. All right. So we've got to this first 15 minutes. I'm just going to kind of like talk to you while you do that for me. No worries, Catherine. You do your best. I mean, I understand this. People have problems with the internet, etc. If anyone's having like problems because they haven't got a laptop or they haven't got Wi-Fi, can you let me know? I know a couple of people have, and I've tried to get the college to sort something out for them. Okay, so let me know about that. I mean, officially the deadline's passed, but people have to be flexible. We have to help you out if we can. So yeah, so for the first 10 to 15 minutes, while people are doing that, I'm just going to talk you through what the situation is, where we are with all of this. It was terrible. The mock, I mean, what I've got of yours was pretty good. I mean, there's bits missing, and that's kind of what I want to see. So I don't think anyone totally crashed and burned unless they chose to. And I'm sorry to say a couple of you did choose to, as in like, I'm going to go with people. I'm going to talk to people individually. Hey, so what we're doing in the first 10 minutes of this is, if you've already done this, so you can just relax. Send me every piece of working picture that you've got, because I want to have a look at it. And I'm going to talk for maybe the first 10 minutes on this in terms of what's happening, where we are in the situation with exams, lessons, all this sort of stuff. For the vast, vast majority of this lesson, the next thing I'm going to do is send you out the mark scheme, and I want to discuss a few questions with you. I think that would be a sensible use of time. I'll do a similar thing on Wednesday, and then Thursdays to be decided. Remember, next week is the Easter holiday, so there won't be any lessons then. And then, obviously, then that means there's no videos either. I will say to you that I'm here for you guys. I understand this is a very, very stressful period. So if you need to reach out. And quite a few of you have, and that's fine, all right? But obviously, there won't be official lessons or anything during Easter holidays because there aren't, all right? So just to be aware of that. So next week, was yours bad? No, it wasn't actually. I'm not going to give you numbers today because I want to see any other pieces of working you've got It's all good to see you. Good to see you. So I'm just going to recap for the people that are just popping in now. For this first 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, I want people, to, if they haven't already done this, to send. Oh, interesting. I will do. I mean, do your best. I'll try and walk you through it. Just wait for applied. I haven't done applied yet. I'm nearly finished marking through, as I said. I just want more details. I'm going to say to you right now, in the next 5 or 10 minutes, before I send out the mark scheme, which I'm going to do in about 5 or 10 minutes, can you send me every picture of working you've got? Don't send me stuff you've already sent me. All right, that's kind of pointless. Do you reckon we'll still have lessons after holiday? I do not know. That was literally the next thing I was going to talk about. I don't know is the honest answer to that. We're going to find out from the government what evidence they want this week. So it's not at all clear what's going to happen next week. Thank you, Katerina. I've got those very, very clearly. That's very helpful. That's super helpful, Katerina. So I would just say hold fire on those. I mean, even if there are lessons after holiday, they'll only be for another 3 weeks. So I don't reckon you need to stress yourself one way or the other. And the other question I'd ask you is, what the hell are you doing instead? I'm bored out of my mind here. And I mean, I love to be outside, and I really, really hate the fact that I can't do anything. It's really getting on my nerves. I'm sure many of you are the same. So, like, I wouldn't stress too much about whether there's going to be lessons after the holiday. We don't know. I kind of hope, yeah, I mean, my secret heart, so do I, Iona. But the thing is, I wouldn't want to keep you here just to keep me company. Right? And that's ridiculous. Got study leave on the, no, it's earlier than that. It's the 9th of May. It's the 9th of May. Be clear on that. So if you didn't know that already, study leave's the 8th, not the 18th of May. It's the 9th of May. You have 3 weeks at most. Steph, do as much as you can. I love being housebound. I can't lie. I hate it. Absolutely hate it, Sally. I've gained weight in my legs. I've actually started doing workouts. If anyone's got good workout tips, drop me emails, all right? So right now I'm doing bicep curls and basically steps. Anyways, right, let's go. Stop talking about that now. I'm going to have to still hold on for another 5 minutes before I can pop out mark schemes. So what you can do, because I just want to give people time to send me pictures. So what you can do now is make sure that you've got your paper, the one you submitted, ready for me to look at. Not for me to look at it, for you to look at it, all right? I've got an email from Louis. Brilliant. Thank you very much. So if you haven't sent me everything you've got, send it to me now. Please do that now. Iona, you're tougher than me. I'm suffering here. I'm not going to lie. What was I going to say to you? Yeah, so for those people just coming in, we're going to get a lot more information from the government this week. So it might be that, you know, they tell us we don't need anything, let them go free. That might be the thing. They might say we want this. It might be somewhere in the middle. I don't know. And there's no point me speculating now, but I can tell you the 9th of May is your hard deadline. No, it has to be done earlier. Because, like, literally, I've been either in my house or in my garden, and, like, I'm already fat. It just, you know, something has to be done here. But yeah, has to be done every day. Yeah. So I'm going to hold on for another 4 minutes. I'm not waffling for the sake of waffling. I'm waffling to give everyone else a chance to pop up with their things. What I could do now is just ask you to get your exam paper, the one that you wrote your answers on, ready in front of you. I know, I'll have a look at the data. I've got the data in front of me right now in terms of what I've marked. Almost everyone got question 1 right and question 2 right, apart from maybe 2C. So I'll probably start from 2C, if that's okay with people. Got another message from Aisha. Brilliant. Thank you, Aisha. Much appreciated. Speaking of Aisha's, not you, Sultana Frampton Clark. Anyone know where she is? I will say that registers are still being taken. If you didn't know this, registers are still being taken. And I'm going to take the register off the live chat because anyone can say they've signed in. But if you comment on the live chat, I know you're at least watching video. So just be aware of that. These things are important. So if you're one of those people that just say nothing in lesson, at least make an effort to go, hey, I'm here. And that would be useful. It'd be super useful, actually. I love the confidence that this man thinks I can do X number of press-ups. Good. Hey, Osna. We're going to start the teaching in about 2 minutes. Alvin, don't do anything fancy. Just send me stuff. The only thing I beg is send the pictures in the right order. Yeah. If you don't do that, I have to go flipping back and forth through a PDF file for solutions. There are people I actually want to kill. I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Ilya actually. I thought it was, but you did it in the right order. You're blessed. Somebody really got on my nerves yesterday. Let me check who it was. Austin's was sensible. I don't know. I'll find them out and cuss them out individually. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes to send the pictures. Yes, it might have. Actually, yours isn't bad. Ilya's, yours was fine. Yours actually made sense. I just followed it all the way through. I'm going to start with 2C. So if you want to start turning to 2C in your exam paper, and it was a very, very silly one to lose a mark on. I'm going to give it about another minute and 10 seconds. Then I'm going to start the walkthroughs. If you send it to me afterwards, I'm not going to disqualify you. I understand, you can't just do everything. I will say before Wednesday, though, if you could do exactly the same thing for stats, please don't send them today. Because right now, my email is deluged and my Teams is deluged with pictures. I want to finish pure. So I'll send a reminder tomorrow. Do the same thing for stats before the lesson so we don't have this gap. Might take 4 minutes to use a bit longer on this, and that's fine. It's something that you did. It's commendably clear. Anyone who sent them in the wrong order slaps. Anyone who didn't use the sheet and didn't use a proper replacement also slaps. Because you know what? This is the worst thing I've ever had to mark in my life. Not your performances. Actually, they're not much worse than normal. They were half decent. Yeah, of course we're going to do pure. Give me 5 minutes loading. I mean, yeah, for sure. Don't worry. I mean, I can see you trying it now. You've popped a message and I'm not accusing you of cheating. Right, 10 seconds and we're starting with 2C. So 2C. Can you even see that? Yeah, you can. Beautiful. What's a daisy? Oh, we're good. So 2C was a little bit disappointing because it's a really, really easy 2 marks, right? What you needed to do was substitute the values in, okay? So the values let me just show you what this was. Oh, we get. Okay. Was your mock terrible? No, it wasn't bad at all. So what you were meant to do is substitute in 0.8885 and 0.8895 into f dash of x and show that they both round to 0.889. Yeah. Sorry, my apologies, not that. They do round up to 0.0. They do, that's a thing, but that's not the other thing you need to show. If you do this one, you get a negative number. And if you do this one, you get a positive number. And then you have to write the magic phrase. All right? There's a change of sign and it's continuous. Therefore, there's a root in that region. Yeah, there's a solution in the region. So you remember I taught you the magic words on this. All you had to do was substitute these 2 values because those 2 numbers both round to 0.889. And then show that one's negative, one's positive. The function is continuous. Otherwise, you could differentiate on it. And they both round up to this. So therefore, the value of the root must be that to 3 decimal places. All right? Can you pop a comment in the answer box if you did not understand that explanation of 2C, or do you want me to explain it again? Okay, that's silence. That seems good. I'm now, while you're thinking about whether you accept what I'm saying or not, going to email you the mark scheme. Oh, God. I should have done... Well, I couldn't really do that earlier. Could I realistically? Oh. Yeah. When's the last time I sent you anything? Thursday. Bear with me just a second. I'm just sending you the mark scheme. Can you pop a comment in the answer box if you haven't already? To say yes, I understood this. No, I didn't. Let's reply to everybody. Thank you. Boom. Quick attachment. Browse. Not letting you send me more than this. Send what you can. Yeah, let's be realistic about it. At the end of the day, I don't think these are going to be... I just want it to be as accurate as possible, And there's no reason why, if I can get a little bit more information and give you a slightly higher mark, I'd be a happier man, wouldn't I? Potentially. Right, mark scheme has just been sent out. Okay, so mark scheme's just been sent out. Let me just check on my YouTube thingy whether actually anyone's asked any questions about 2C. Okay, cool. Okay, that's fine. You understand it. Brilliant. That's good. Cool. That's great. So I'm just going to quickly, for the benefit of Ilya, whenever you want to show that, and in this question, the phrasing was alpha is going to be that turning point. So if alpha is the turning point, that means f dashed of that, you differentiate that and you substitute in and show it equals 0. So basically it's the root of f dashed of x equals 0. You substitute two numbers that are rounding in, that would round to it one decimal place further. So 0.8895 goes to 0.889, 0.8885 goes to 0.889. They both round up quite nicely. Yeah? Is that making sense? So both of those guys round down respectively to 0.889. Fair enough. The fact that they do, and the fact that one's negative and one's positive, and the further fact that Abraham is Ilya, the further fact that f dash of x is continuous means that the value of alpha has to equal 0. Basically, the root of f dash of x equals 0 is whatever that number 0.889 is. Okay? If that's still not making sense, can you say so? No problem, of course, no problem. Anyone else needs a little bit more help on that? All it was is the standard subs in your two numbers. Thank you for people firing stuff at me. No worries. I'm really grateful. Okay, cool. So all those people sending me messages, just give me what you can now. So I'm going to make the screen go better. So we now happy with 2C, yes or no? I need to hear that. If the answer is still no, say so, right? I don't know about you, it looks really dark and gloomy outside, and we're all stuck inside anyways. We can afford to do long explanations. Subs those into f dash of x, my dude. Because they're basically saying alpha is the point where there's a turning point for f of x, right? So f dash of x equals 0 is when you get a turning point, isn't it? Yeah? So what you've got to do is take your f of x, differentiate it, and then substitute these numbers into it. Because we know that f dash of x equals 0, that will tell me when I have a turning point. All right, I hope that now makes sense. Anything else? Evie, I'm sure, but it's like Selly and Ilya I'm focusing on. I'm just saying be patient with this. I mean, what else have you got to watch? All right. Right, brilliant. Ilya, Selly, if you want something to say, drop it quick. Just drop a quick thing in the message box for me. I'm going to start looking ahead and see what other people died on. I mean, there'll be some interest for you guys to try and mark this yourself and see if you get the same grade I do. That'd be quite fun to do. Okay, number 3 was generally done poorly. I mean, Austin 9, Evie 9, Alvin 9, Stephanie 9, nobody else 9 so far, with a few people I haven't quite finished marking yet. I think so. Brilliant, yeah. So number 3 might be worth our time. So if everyone has a minute to look at number 3, so if you pull up number 3 on your computer, I mean, try to use a laptop if you've got one. Tablet is your second choice. Phone is the worst. Okay, brilliant. And so if that's not true and you're just being polite, drop me a message in Microsoft Teams. Right? Not that I'm doubting you. I'm sure you do. Right? So we've got sector of a circle. We've got 2 congruent triangles. I mean, the perimeter of the stage you would have thought would have been easy. Yeah? 2 congruent triangles means you only need to find out one of the triangles. Take a minute to look at 3 for me and tell me what you think would have been difficult there. Because I'm looking at that and I see a lot of mistakes on the sums. I think maybe it's just sums. So let's just quickly do the sums. That's probably the fastest way. So 3 went kind of badly. So let's have a look. So perimeter of the stage would be an arc length. So this is 3 we're looking at. Arc length, new pen, I think. Plus sides times 2. Seems sensible way of doing it, right? And it was given in radians. So arc length would be very, very simple. That's just going to be theta r. Yeah? And then after that, you had to use the fact that you knew what theta was for the arc length to work out an angle for the triangle. So if you look at the this, you've got this guy here is 1.82 radians. So what you need to do is go, the angle for this guy would be pi over, so pi minus 1.82 divided by 2. Why? Because you've got two triangles, all right? Use the cosine rule to work out the angle, and you should have got 51.4, all right? But a lot of you didn't. Can I ask you to have a look at your own working for 3.8 and then pop in the chat box what the hell you did? Because a lot of people did not get 51.4. What were the common mistakes here? So I'm just going to hold on for just a second. So it's number 3 we're looking at. So the method was find the arc length, find this angle for the triangle, and then obviously just use cosine rule after that, obviously. And your final answer is 51.4. Can you have a look at your working out if you can? I'm seeing from Katerina that she can't, so fair enough. We do what we can. We live in the world of the possible. What was that thing I said to Iona? We're not going to let good be the enemy of perfect. No, perfect be the enemy of good. That. So if you can't, you can't. But if you can see your work in front of you now and you got that one wrong, can you pop in the chat box why you did? What happened? Because it might be illustrative. Everything about a straight line. Oh, of course. Yes, and to be fair, so did I. You need to add the diameter too. So you know what? You're as bright as your teacher, if nothing else. Confusing ourselves from radians into. Yeah, I mean, if the question's in radian, I mean, this is rule number 1. If this ever happens, I mean, I don't know what, as I said, I don't know how this, whether we're ever going to need to do an exam or anything like this ever again. But if we do, remember this, and I'm sure I said it at the time. Don't turn. If the question's radians, it's a radians question. Yeah. 9 what? I'm confused. I'm thoroughly baffled here. Yeah? So, like, if you've got a question in radians, do it in radians. Evie, explain 9 what? Because we're only on 3 at the moment. We will get to 9. 9 was actually a good question. Didn't have the straight line. Same. I did 2 pi instead of 1. 2 pi will be all the way around 360. Interesting. So that's interesting sort of mistakes. And again, I didn't see the working out for all of it. So confused me a little bit. Most people got B right. Okay, so just looking at, I've got the spreadsheet with all your grades on it. 3B was done generally much better. I'm going to tell you what the answer was, because I'm nice like that. It was 137.4 for part B. Does anyone feel like they want to see that? So for part B, it's 137.4. And the good thing about B was independent from A. So if you got A wrong, you could still get B right. And some people did. All right. Does anyone want to see 3B or should we move on? Again, remember, I can't see your faces, which is a shame. I miss you all. But so to pop in the answer box. Looks like it's going to rain today. So what's answer 3B? 137.4. Move on, please. Yep, I will do. Can more people talk, right? All of you guys talk to me. Thank you, Asha. Yeah, 137.4, thank you. But it's often very, very much to say, like, Iona will talk, Ilya will talk, Aisha will talk. Oliver, thank you for talking. That's good. I was really behind time. Angle was wrong, so it's all wrong, but the rest of working out is right. Okay, cool. That's why if you send me your things, I can start giving credit for that. That's what's starting to annoy me, because I can see numbers that are very, very close. I think like there's a consensus to move on, so let's move on. All right, cool. Number 4 was shambles. Dear God, that was bad. Alvin got straights, I think. I don't think many other people did though. And that was, let's see what the hell is 4. What was that so hard about 4? I remember this. Most people got 4A right. Okay, so we just not go any further on 4A. Most people got 4A right. It was 4B and 4C that got interesting. Okay, so 4B and 4C were the interesting ones. All right, so let me talk you through 4B and 4C. So just a quick reminder what 4B is asking you. It's saying point B and point C lie on that triangle such that ABC is an isosceles and the length of the lines AB and AC are 2 root 13. So AB equals AC, and that's obviously just the length of it, isn't it? The magnitude. So what can we say straight away? Just a second, I'm going to pop up how I did it. You've got any particular coordinate on there, on point L1 will be of this form, agreed? X, 2x minus 1. Why? Because if you substitute x into your formula, you're going to get 2x minus 1 for your y coordinate. I'm going to stop there and say, do we understand that bit? Would you consider setting up Google Meets that way we can speak? I would certainly consider it. We could also do that on Microsoft Teams if people are on. Shall we do that? Let's try that. I mean, I sort of like YouTube because it means, also because I've got a YouTube channel, so that's part of it. But also it means I don't get confused by too many different things at once. Let's try. We've got a team. Area 13, general. Ilya, you are not setting up anything, sir. You leave it to the grown-up, please. Why 2x minus 1? Because that's the equation, my dude. Bear with me a moment. Let's see if we can sort this out. Can whoever's running the call stop the call? This is why I don't run calls. It just gets on my nerves, right? Okay, I'm going to ignore that until that call has vanished. So why is it 2x minus 1? Because from previous equation, we've got y equals, I'm going to give you the exact form of the equation. Things I have to keep backing and forth between this and my working out. So we've got L1 is, where did they give you L1? So I'm just trying to find the equation L1. L1 is given as y equals 2x minus 1. Yeah? So if you just substitute the value in x, you'd get 2x minus 1. All right? That's why any coordinate xy is given with x substituted in 2x minus 1. I'm going to try this call business, all right? Don't stuff it up. Can you write the equations? Which equations? Hello, dudes. Hello. Hello, my dudes. I'm going to put you on speaker. Can we try and keep this as sensible as possible? I've just managed to mute myself. Brilliant. Okay, cool. So, Evie, if you're on this. Okay, cool. Someone's muted Ilya. Let me see if I can unmute him. Oh, he's muted himself. Okay, cool. Brilliant. All right, so if we... You're doing well. You're doing well. All I'm going to say to you is don't say anything unless you have something to say. Does that make sense, right? Just like in class. So, and I'll say that to everyone, not just Ilya. I mean, Stefan managed to mute yourself as well. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at 4B. This must be weird, though. You've got YouTube and this going on. Tell you what, why don't I mute me? Yes, that's clever. So this is what I'm thinking. If I mute myself, you can listen to me on the YouTube channel, and then you can speak on that. That way you won't have me in stereo. That would make more sense. Okay, that doesn't. Yeah, okay, let's get on with it, right? So we're looking at 4B now, yeah? We have this coordinate, x, 2x minus 1. This is what I mean. There's people that are talking for no good reason. Right. Okay, we're cool here, yeah? If everyone, yeah, that makes sense. Everyone mutes for now. And I only speak when you need to like ask me a question. That works. We're getting somewhere with this. Let's roll. Right, 4B. There's someone still stubbornly unmuted. And you've got the worst feedback ever. All right. So on 4b, once you've got that coordinate, you can start working out. You've got a distance from -2, 3. Now, -2, 3 is A, isn't it? Yeah? Yeah, Alvin, don't stress. You can still hear me on YouTube, but that's fine. Please, whoever, stop muting. I'm just going to turn this off as this isn't working. Just literally mute yourself. So we can start making this equation that says x plus 2 squared plus 2x minus 1 minus 3 squared well done, good job, equals 2 root 13 all squared. All right? I hope that makes sense. Unmute yourself if you don't understand where that came from. It's just simply Pythagoras and just saying, well, we don't know what this coordinate is, but we know there's two of them. And the gap between this and A is this minus 2, so x plus 2, this minus 3, so this minus 3 rather, so this squared plus this squared equals that squared, and it's just a quadratic to solve after that. Does that make sense? Super clever, right? So if anyone's got any particular issues with that, can you say so for me?
Vijay, can you say one more time?
Absolutely. Let's start from the beginning. Mute yourself, please.
Jay.
Yes, mute yourself. Thank you. Good. Right. AB and AC both have the length 2 root 13. We don't know anything about what B and C are. Can I draw a diagram? Yes, in a minute. It's not going to help, but I'll draw it in a minute. Because this is literally just all algebra. Because we're going to say that anything on L1, any coordinate at all, will follow this pattern. If you substitute x into it, you're going to get 2x minus 1. Why? Because y equals 2x minus 1 and x is x. So we can do Pythagoras on this point, which is representing BC and any other point, quite frankly, on the line, and say, well, this one minus this one. So basically, the Pythagoras of this distance from here to there equals 2 root 13 squared. All right? And it's literally just going, well, okay, that one minus that one squared, that one minus that one squared, the Pythagoras that we all know and love. Okay? So this is like the coordinate for B and C, which is, remember, they're the same distance apart, so they're the same thing. And this is A. So this will give you a formula for AB and AC. And the reason why you're going to get two separate answers is quadratic, you can get two different values of x. Okay? Now, comment on that if you would. And if that's really a problem, let me just quickly draw a picture. So if this is A, that would be, kill yourself. Still can't draw even in coronavirus times. That's B and that's C. I'm just throwing a line out. I have no clue what that is. Those two lengths are the same. All right? I'll move that down so you can actually see it. And all we're doing is saying, well, we can work out that length. Work out that length, we can work out that length. And we can work out that length by Pythagoras because we know the coordinates of B and C are both can be represented by this algebra. So AB would literally be x minus 2 squared, 2x minus 1 minus 3 squared equals the length squared. And exactly the same thing for AC. This piece of algebra here, this coordinate, represents B, C, and every other point on the line. Okay? Because that coordinate is given by them. Can I get some feedback one way or the other? Prefer it in the live chat. But can someone just say, like, yeah, I get this, or I've got no flipping clue what you're talking about, you're going to have to do it from scratch. I mean, the thing is, the clever bits of this, if you get that, the rest follows. Yeah? If your thought is literally, you got, there we go, Catherine. I mean, in a way, all those times you told me that you'd never be able to do it in the exam. You may never have an exam to do it in. You probably won't have an exam to do it in. So I suppose, not the worst thing in the world. So you get it, yeah? Understood? If people don't get it, can you pop up and say so? So I'm happy to run through it again. But that's the logic behind it anyways. All right. Just waiting on other people that they're going to say anything. So given that B lies in the third quadrant, so if B lies in the third quadrant, so this is for part C now. given B that like B lies in the third quadrant. So just remember what quadrants are and how quadrants work. Let me just draw you a quick diagram on that. These are your quadrants. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just check on the video whether you can or not. Yes, I thought so. Here are your quadrants. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, that is 4. So if you got from your answer a negative x value, yeah. Can I just check if that's the right way around? Give me a sec. Yeah, that's right. I've done that right. So you need to pick there's two solutions coming out of this, right? So the two x values, I'll just tell you what they are. The x value number 1 comes out as minus 8/5, and then you've got the other one as 4. All right. So the question goes: given that B is in the third quadrant, if B is in the third quadrant, that means its x value has to be negative. So this is the answer I'm going to use to find y. And then all you need to do is substitute in and find out what y is. Okay. So you had no idea about quadrants at all. You learned something today, right? So it goes anti-clockwise. The one that everyone normally uses, like from primary school, is this one, 1. Then it goes anti-clockwise, 2, 3, 4. All right? Quadrants. They are fun. Not really. I feel like that question brought back a lot of kind of school. I mean, it brings back a lot of stuff from even like secondary school, because that's a secondary school type thing. Any particular issues on this, or can I move on? Again, in the chat box, or preferably in the chat box, because I'm still not sort of happy with the thingy. It's just too many people, too many voices, do you know what I mean? Okay. So pop something in the chat box if you don't get it. Have we ever mentioned quadrants? Have I ever mentioned quadrants? When did I do quadrants? Yes, once. I actually have. Do you remember the one time I saw the cast diagram? And I taught it grudgingly. I'll teach this in 5 minutes. That's when you met it. All right? By the way, it's your secondary school teacher's job, all right? Not having now, Aisha. Yeah, so quadrants. There you go. Okay, number 5 went well, generally. With just a couple of exceptions. So if you don't mind, I'll skip 5. It was really nice to see how people did well at vectors. Okay, number 6, secondary teacher says it's you. Do you have your secondary teacher in your house? I mean, did you kidnap them or something? Okay. Okay, cool. So number 6 was a little bit more interesting, but 6 wasn't actually that hard. There were bits and bobs did well, bits and bobs done badly. In general, how did we do? It was either you got it or you didn't. I mean, like, either it's 8s or 9s or it's 0. So we'll have a quick look at 6. Okay. So 6, first of all, you needed to realize that it is, excuse me, a arithmetic sequence for model A. So model A, if you're running model A, that's arithmetic. And obviously model B is geometric. So remember, arithmetic's the one where you add each time, geometric's the one where you multiply each time. Okay? So model A is arithmetic and model B is geometric. Now, how would you know that from the wording of the question? Because in there, they say for model A, it's increasing by the same number. So you're adding the same amount each time. If it's model B, you're increasing by the same percentage each time. That's a multiplier. Percentage is a percentage multiplier, isn't it? Yeah? So for model A, all you needed to do was be able to go, okay, I've got 2,600 batteries in year 1. In year 10, 12,000. So how many steps is that? 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, etc. So you need to figure out how many extra years is that. So from first year to second, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth, fifth to sixth, sixth to seventh, seventh to eighth, eighth to ninth, ninth to 10th. So that's 9 jumps. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in between them. So it's increased 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So from that, I don't know if you can see that. Let's check that you can. We can work out, it goes to the right, yeah, 2,600. So we can work out literally 12,000 minus 2,600 divided by 9 to work out what the difference is for each year. Yeah? And that's not too hard of a question. If you do that, you will get either you'd get about 1,044 or 1,045. Technically, it should be this one. Yeah? So 3644, 3645. Does that make sense? Without even using the formula, that's not a particularly hard question for number 6. Part A anyways. Yeah? Anyone want to make a comment on 6A? Can I move on to 6B or 6C? Put something in the chat box. Can I move on yet or not? Or do you want to see more of 6A? Just waiting on some feedback on that one. That's not the final answer. The final answer is 3,644. I agree. Yeah? So remember the question says, work out what the second year's one is. The important thing is to find the D. But once you've got that, add that onto the first year stuff to get what the second year is. You got a point. I'm not going to kind of fuss about that. All right. So second one was, again, now this time it's geometric. All right. You got 3,640, which is close. Again, if you show me working out, then we can have a look at like how many method marks you'd get on that. So let's just move on. Part B. Part B asks you same percentage each year. So again, we're talking about using, you still want to find a second year. You pop that in a formula, okay? And you're going to get 12,000 equals 2,600 times r to the 9. Now, why is it r to the 9? Because we're doing a geometric series, and again, it's 9 years, yeah? So I hope that makes sense to people. And you solve for r. Find r. Let me just see if that's visible on the video. Yeah? So you're finding r. If you do that, and the way you do that is divide through by 2,600, and then I recommend using logs at that point, or whatever. Does anyone need to see how to find r on that? Pop that in the chat box. So I'm not crazy asking, can you answer this question? Do you need any further help with it to find r? And if you do, let me know, because obviously I'll show you how to do it. Again, waiting for feedback on from the chat box. So let me know if you understand how to find r. 1.185, yeah, you understand, it's logs, isn't it? Divide through by 2,600, log both sides, divide through by 9. Should work quite nicely, yeah? So what is your actual answer there? The final answer, just so my shit doesn't whinge at me again, isn't this. This is what r is. And then you just multiply 2,600 by this, 1.185. Brilliant, good. It's pretty simple, right? Shame you didn't do it in the exam. So that's a bit mean. And then C, we know what r is. Okay, so we can use that. And here, we're looking at what's Sam saying here? Sam's saying you want to work out the difference. So what you need to do is do the sum of formulas for both the arithmetic and the geometric series. Is there anyone who doesn't know how to do that now that's been explained to them? So for the arithmetic, what is it? N over 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. And for the geometric, it's a, let me see if I remember the formula. I think, are these given? I can't remember. A r to the n minus 1 over r minus 1. So this is your S of n arithmetic, S of n geometric. And you work out the difference between the two, just substitute the numbers in. I don't think I need to spend too much more time on that. I hope that does make sense to you. Again, pop in the chat box if you need to see it. If not, we'll move on. We're going at quite a decent pace. We might finish a bit early, hopefully. Yeah. That goes. Let's see what happened in 7. I mean, 7 was bad. I mean, it got bad after this, didn't it? Right, ready to move on? Again, people be more than just Aisha, right? So if you're not happy with it, say so. If you are happy with it, say so. Because I appreciate what Aisha is doing, and I'm super grateful for it. But, you know, more than one person and all that. Right. Yep, ready to move on. Brilliant. Okay, that's super. Thank you very much. Okay, so 7. 7 when it starts to go a bit wonky. So we're told a couple of things here, right? For 7, we're told that 2x plus 1 is a factor of g of x. And the curve with this equation has a point of inflection at x equals 1/6. All right? That's interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. So what can we do with those pieces of information? This is quite a hard question. I'm not going to lie to you. What you'd be able to say, first of all, by factor theorem, that if, was it 2x plus 1 is a factor, so by factor theorem, if 2x is not a factor, g of minus a half would equal 0. Is anyone unhappy with that? Does that all make sense to you? Yeah? So that's what the first factor says. The first thing says to you, right? So if you substitute minus a half into g, you will get an equation that connects a and b. Let me show you what that equation is. Yeah? So what would happen is you'd get let me have a look what the equation is, sorry. So you get 4 times minus 1/8 plus a half squared, so that'll be a quarter a plus 4, so that'd be what, minus 2, so that's a minus 2 there. And that would give you plus b. All right. So that's just going to be what then? I don't know if can you see all of that? Yeah, you can for now. So that will go what? Minus a half plus a quarter a minus 2 plus b. And that all equals 0. Then you times 3 by 4. Yeah? And that should give you something quite relatively simple to handle. Bear with me just a moment. So that should just be minus 2 plus b. Sorry, that's now written properly. So you times 3 by 4 here, you get minus 1 plus a minus 8 plus 4b. Actually, that'd be minus 2, sorry. Yes, I will do just a moment. A plus 4b equals 10. So that's the logic behind it. That's what we've got from using the factor theorem. So the factor. Ona, do you want to say something? You're making all kinds of interesting sounds here, my dude. Okay, no more sounds. Right, okay. I hope that makes sense to you in terms of part A. We've now got ourselves an equation a plus 4b equals 10. Yeah? Second part. It says that the equation with yg of x has a point of inflection at 1/6. Yeah? Now, what we need to do, Alvin, not helpful. What we need to do is, it's a point of inflection. Yeah? How does that help us? We know that if you differentiate G all the way down to G double double X, yeah? Then you'd get, well, presumably you'd get 24X plus 2A, yeah? If you substitute 1/6 into that, so using the idea of points of inflection, making that equal 0, so you put the 1/6 into there, that will give you 4 plus 2A. And because we know it's a point of inflection, we can go 4 plus 2A equals 0, yeah? So do you remember the definition of the point of inflection is the second differential is 0, but the third differential isn't 0. So that's how you're going to use the formula. Oh, sorry, the second fact. So now you've got yourselves two equations. You've got 4 plus 2A equals 0, and you've got A plus 4B equals 0. All right? No worries, Aaron. Okay, let me pop this back up a bit so you can see what we're doing. So I hope that makes sense how we use those two facts. So the first fact, we used the factor theorem. The second one, they said, well, there's a point of inflection here. So I differentiated G twice and then put it equal to 0 to get my second equation here. Then you've only got to solve those two as simultaneous equations. That's the logic behind question 7a. Is that okay? Pop a comment in the chat box if you don't get it. And pop a comment in the chat box if you do get it, quite frankly, so I know I can move on. I know I've been talking for like literally 51 minutes. And I mean, if we do have lessons after Easter, they'll be better than this. We'll actually play Kahoot, believe it or not. I think I figured out how to do that online. But for these ones, it is a feedback exam lesson, all right? So have mercy on me on this. So 7a, can I get a bit of feedback in the chat box? Yes, I got this, that's super clever. Or no, this is a pile of garbage. Explaining is properly. Explaining. Oh God, I'm tired today. So just waiting on a little bit of feedback from the chat box. I need to know what to do. Do I need to explain 7a again? You've got it, Oliver. Brilliant. Thank you. Can we all just be like super on it? I know you guys get a lag. It's weird. I say something and it comes up on your speaker about a minute later. So that's Eve got it. So I'm just using those two facts to create two equations. So we've got two people that said they've got it. Can I have a bit more? Which means there's 15 people watching this. Aisha got it. Iona, brilliant. Thank you, Hibbo. Katerina, that's the first comment you've made, actually. I'm very proud of you. You can imagine the pat. Well, to be honest, I didn't pat people on the head when I saw you. Right, okay, cool. So that was part A, and that's how that worked. Again, it's one of those ones that, yeah, you have to be a bit clever for it. 7b. 7b says what? Show there's no stationary points on this curve. All you need to do, for that is now you know what A and B are. Differentiate it, okay? Okay, and show that it can't equal 0. Yeah? So it's really, really simple. What you'll end up with is you get, if you differentiate that guy, so you want to show something with no stationary points. All you need to do is go, let me differentiate. And what you should end up getting is 12, wait, sorry, I messed up the plastic. 12x squared minus 4x plus 4. So this is g dashed of x. And all you've got to do is show that that will never be 0. And how can you do that? For a quadratic, it's really simple. Complete the square. All right? So what you should have done for part B is substitute the numbers into g of x, differentiate g of x to get g dashed of x, complete the square on that and show that that can never be 0. It hasn't got, or you can use the quadratic formula and show there's no solutions. Put it equal to 0. That would have done it too. It's a bit more clumsy. Or whatever. Use b squared minus 4ac, show that there's b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. Any one of those methods would do it. Show no solutions for g of x, g dashed of x equals 0. That's how you show something's got no stationary point, right? Because we're not too far off finishing. I think, what's the last question? 13. We might not finish the whole thing today. What I do want you to do over the next couple, because I'm sure you've got loads and loads of free time, if you can, yeah. I want you to mark your papers as well while I'm doing it. I'll be interested, actually. I'd like a message from each one of you, what you think you got. So I've done almost everybody's. There's a few people that I want to do again, like Hibbo. I mean, you wrote literally nothing. So it's like, I needed to see the working, some level of working, and you sent it to me now, so that's fine. Okay, so can we pop in the chat box when we're ready to move on from 7b? So 7b was, let's differentiate, put it equal to 0, show there's no solutions. That will tell me that there's no turning points, yeah? Because g dashed of x, or anything dashed of x equals 0, implies that there are no solutions. Ooh, Come on, my dudes. Want to know what to do. So I've got Alvin telling me he's done it. Again, back in the chat box, please. Move on, sir. Yep, move on. Thank you. Move on. Thank you. I really appreciate the ones that keep telling me because I can't get feedback from your faces. Your faces aren't there. It's very sad. I miss your faces. Thank you, whoever that was. Okay, so number 8 is another bloody graph sketchy one. I mean, there aren't really that many graph sketch ones. I'm going to just say with 8, just look at the picture. Yeah? Look at the picture. I mean, all of 8, to be fair, is no disrespect, is not particularly difficult. So let's have a look at the mark scheme. So for the mark scheme, you see that you've got a... First of all, where do you get the 3 marks from? That's interesting. You get 3 marks from the shape, which I reckon most people got. The ones that attempted it, anyways. That's the wrong way around, isn't it? Sorry. We knew almost everyone got the asymptotes at K. It was the x-intercept at 1 over 2K that messed people up. So most people got 2 out of 3 where they made a mistake. So if you got it wrong, that's what you got it wrong. How would you find the x-intercept? Just make y equals 0. So you'd want to solve the equation. Can I do 8b? Yeah. So you just literally want to solve, just to finish off A, 0 equals k1 minus 2x. So what you'd have is 0 equals k1 minus 2x. 1 over 2x equals k. And then just 1 over 2x equals k. And then just solve that. Okay? So part B, find the range of values of k. Given that L cuts the curve in 2 distinct places, find the range of values of k, writing your answer in set notation. All right. The first thing you're going to do is try and solve them as equations to each other. Okay? 2x equals 2x plus 3. Yeah? That seem reasonable? I would say realistically, the only thing you can actually do with that is multiply by 2k. So 2x rather. So you're going to get what? 2kx minus 1 equals 4x squared plus 6x. Yeah? Does that seem reasonable? So this is the start of 8b is what I'm doing here, right? Obviously collect like terms like a good boy. So you're going to get 4x squared plus 6. That goes on the other side, minus 2k x. And that's going to, if that's going there, that'll be a positive 1 equals 0. And I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. You've got yourself a nice quadratic. And the nice thing about the quadratic is that we can solve it. All right? Because we know that it cuts in, wait, I've just deleted the bloody solutions. It cuts in b squared minus 4ac. Because there's 2 solutions, this is true. So all you need to do is substitute and solve for k. All right? Bear with me just a moment. There we go. All right? So I hope that makes sense to you. Do you want me to actually do it? I've got nothing better to do. Or does the logic make sense on that? All right? How much does the way you write set notation count? As long as the set notation is correct, I've counted it. All right? If you've made an error in it, so like the inequalities are the wrong way around, you drop a mark. If it's not proper set notation, you drop a mark. So let's have a look at the mark scheme right now. So just pop that back up. Where's that come back to? Greater than 5 and less than 1. Yes, that's... Well, is that going to be what? Let me just check. I think it's minus 1, but I'll check. You might be right. I'm not saying you're not. Yeah, it's 1. You got it right. So if it wasn't quite the way they wrote it, if you wrote this, for example, I don't know if you can see this. I'll check it out. I would have given that. That's reasonable to me. All right. I would have taken that quite comfortably. That would have done me. But the fact you have to use the union has to live. I hope that makes sense, right? So if you haven't got the idea that it's both of these, it's either this or that, then we've got a problem. That's where you probably drop off. All right? No problem. Let's have a look. We've not got too much more longer on this, thankfully. It's been a pretty long video as it stands. Oh my god. Right, so what are we looking at now? We're looking at number 9. What is number 9? Is number 9? I think number 9 went well. I can be able to skip 9 actually. Okay, there was like 2 people who got nothing on this. You can come back to me on that. Okay, so I'm going to skip 9 because literally almost everyone else got perfect score on 9. Let's go to 10. Oops. Okie dokie. It's taking me forever, this one. All right, 10 was very, very entertaining. Okay. So what even is going on for 10? Given that we've got this huge long story, and this is the type of problem-solving question you would have had in the exam. What's familiar to us there? This idea of sine 2 theta, cos 2 theta, replacing that with r sine theta or r cos theta plus alpha. Yeah? That's definitely a good shout. And I don't know if we're going to do that early on. We're not going to do that early on. So it's given that the seabird's nest is 20 meters above, so we know that height above sea level, find a quick equation. Okie dokie. All right, cool. So how would you do that for part A? Well, part A works like this. You substitute the 20 into there. Yeah, so height's 20. And time would be 0. So 20 would literally just go what? 140. When t equals 0, sine 0, yeah, it would just be what, a minus 28, right? I've got that right. So you get what? Let's see if I've got that right. Should be. It's done off the top of my head. Yeah, so what I've done is literally just substitute the fact that when time is 0, the bird's in its nest. Its nest is above 20, it's 20 meters above the ground. So I've literally put height is 20, t equals 0, find out what a is. Okay. Once I've got what a is, I can substitute that back into the formula. All right. And that was the full formula they were looking for. Anyone else stressed with part A? Okay. I don't think anyone will get stressed with part A for 10. Remember, I've skipped 9. So 10A, that was how you do it. Just substitute the fact that height is 20 when t equals 0. Simple as that. Beautiful. Next thing. We need to find out what. So we've got tan alpha for some reason. Let's look at that. Let's see what the question even says. Look at the answers. We are told this thing. So in fact, they do the work for you. And they tell you that given that all of that equals 53 2t minus alpha. So actually, no, they don't do the work for you. So what they're doing, that's just an r cos theta, r sine theta plus alpha formula. All right. So it's the one where you go. So we've got 45 sine 2t minus 28 cos 2t equals 53 sine. Sorry, 53 sine 2t minus alpha. That's just double angle, as you know. So we can write this out as 53. So it goes. So it's going to go sine 2t cos alpha minus 53 cos 2t sine alpha. Yeah, you remember that just a double angle form. Let me see how that looks on the screen for you. So that's the logic behind part B. And what you do is you start collecting these things together. We know that 45 equals 53 cos alpha. And similarly, minus 28 equals minus 53 sine alpha. You can make an equation for tan alpha out of that by dividing this one by that one. And once you've got tan alpha as a number, you can find out alpha. So can you pop in the chat box whether you understood 8, I'm sorry, not 8A, 10A, 10B? I'm just going to hold fire here for a minute. And then we're going to stop after this one because I think like for an hour listening to anyone talk is super, super hard. So after this one, I'm going to stop. I'm going to say what I want you to do before Wednesday is mark your papers. I'll be having a result. I'll have a result for you by tonight, actually. And what we'll do is we'll exchange prisoners tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on how things work out for me. I will send you your mark, and you send back to me what you think I should have given you, and then we can have an argument. Seem reasonable? So 10. This 10 is the last one. I'm going to shut up after this. I spoke for an hour. I'm sorry I spoke for an hour. That's a long time for anybody. I will finish 11, 12, 13 on Wednesday. Tomorrow, I will send you messages with your email the marks, and you've already got it. Check your emails. I mean, I did see this through. So yeah, you're going to need this. So yeah, you've got the mark scheme if you didn't know that already. So tomorrow, I will send you out your message with your number on it. The only thing I'm saying to you is some of these people, like they're done. I just need to check with your work solutions. All right, cool. I'm just going to finish 10 and shut up. I will email you with a mark, what I think you've got. I want you to email me. I'll message you on Teams with a mark that I think you've got. I want you to message me back with what you think you should have got, and we'll have a negotiation. All right? Maybe I missed something and you're working out. I doubt it, though. I doubt it. I hope not, anyways. Right, let's move. Let's finish this so I can shut up and go away. 10C. Okay, so 10C. Once we've got what alpha is 31.9. Okay. So it's find a minimum height of the seabird, giving your answer to this. Whenever you ask to find a minimum, think about what that's going to do to the fraction. I'm going to write out the fraction that we're dealing with at this point. Because in part B, we proved that this whole thing, this h, is 140 over, what did we decide the other guy was? Are we getting a grade? Yeah, we'll see what other people have done for. Okay, look, you know I'm going to be one of the earliest ones to mark it. I can't grade boundaries until I've seen what other classes have done. It might be with the greatest mathematicians in the history of the world, which I think is possible. I mean, Dan could give us a game, but you know, I think we've done pretty well. But I can't do that on. There's just not enough data as it stands. I've only got my results. So just hold fire, and I'll send it to you when I've got it. So you've got, this is your formula, 2t minus 31.9. So suppose you want to minimize this formula, you want to make it as small as possible. You want this whole thing, the biggest this can be is 53. So this formula then becomes 140 plus 35 plus 53. With regards to the evidence, I've said this already, Oliver, and I don't really know what's going on. Nobody does. That's why I'm not saying, oh, you're free after Easter, or we've got 3 weeks left. I don't know. I don't know anything because the government hasn't said it. It's not me being incompetent, sleeping each day. I just don't know. All right. So you just work out what H is for that, for C. And then finally for D, this model only works as long as you're positive. And none of you got this right, which broke my heart. Because seagulls can't fly underwater. And that's fundamentally the reason why. And you just think to yourself, this is really a common sense question. If you think about it, anything with a sine or a cos, especially this guy here, with that fraction at the bottom, that could go negative. If it goes negative, then you're saying the bird is under the water. And that's a problem. All right? That's the end of question 10. If anyone's got any further questions, I'm going to be on here for about another 5 minutes. You guys are free to go now. Tomorrow, I will start sending out results, and Wednesday you'll have results. I'll finish off going through these papers. I will say if we are stuck here after with each other for Easter, and it's not stuck, the regard from these is great. We won't be doing them like this. I can't live stream for an hour or so. I'm actually exhausted. This is mad. This is the longest live stream I've ever done in my life. Okay, so we'll do maybe short bursts of live streams. Maybe we'll do Google Hangouts. We'll do Kahoots. All right. This is not the way we can carry on like this. All right, so I'm going to shut up now. I'll stay on here for a couple of minutes. If you are happy and you've got any other questions, pop them in the chat box. If you think of other questions later, pop them on my Microsoft chat, and I'll start hitting people up with results probably tomorrow. I've got the whole day off practically. I mean, just to like satisfy you, Alvin, I think you've already got the A. Let's have a look. Check the number. Yeah, you probably have already got the A, irrespective of whatever pictures you send. So I wouldn't stress. Thanks for Steph. Thanks for being so patient. Katerina, look after yourself. See you later, Aish. Take care. Hannah Billington, I know that's Eve. You take care, Eve. Results will be coming out tomorrow for just as a numerical. All right, just as a numerical. Oliver, anytime. I hope to see you guys on Wednesday when we'll talk about stats. Yeah, drop out the call as well because I'm done here as well. In fact, I should drop out the call to follow my instructions. Yeah, definitely, Alex. Take care. So I'm going to hang around here for a couple more minutes. I'm not going to say, there's no secrets that I'm going to say that I didn't say to the other group, the people that have already left. So this is the only point of being here is if you've got a question about any of the exam questions, this is your time. Alvin, stop creeping on Alex, please. A bunch of messages, thank you. Yeah, thank you, my dude. Thanks, Sally. I really appreciate that. Iona, take care. Positive thoughts at this time. I'm sure I'll live. I'm sure I'll live, Alvin. I'm sure I'll cope. If I don't, I'll let you know. I was going to make a suicide joke, but really, given the time, even me, there's a level of taste that I haven't got. I mean, anyone's still around? Is anyone else giving you a mock stat? I don't think people would give a mock stat fast, would they? Not in 2 days, 3 days. Take care, Alvin. Look after yourself. I'm going to log off in 2. So if you've got any questions, pop up. Ilya, take care. Look after yourself. Take care, Ilya. Look after yourself. Hope you're having fun out there as much as you can. I mean, don't be out there. You know what I mean. Don't be a Boris Johnson. All right, I think that's it. I would have thought. Love all of you guys. Take care, all right? Don't want to hear any of you getting sick.